Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese, episode 194. I'm your Joe Dix, joined tonight by Matt Zellner.
Hello.
And the one and only, brought to you straight from the live recording booth of the Space Jam voice track, Sandeep Jandu.
Hi. That's all I got.
He sounded just like Bugs Bunny. The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. How are my friends doing tonight?
Extraordinary.
Ooh,
Fantastic.
That's a good word. That's a new word.
Yeah.
Stressed.
Stressed. I know.
I got.
Tell them what's going on, Matt.
So I have my phone live streaming the Capitals game at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We are heading into overtime.
Mm-hmm.
The Zamboni is on the ice in Toronto, getting the ice all nice and ready to go. For fresh new sheet for the first overtime period.
I can't wait for hockey to be over.
Why? Because you hate looking at me?
No, you just immediately...
No.
You do, like, it is fun watching you slowly just come undone. Like, your hair just slowly gets fucked up. Your shirt has lost a button, like, every, 10 minutes. Like,
It's like a woolen sweater that, like, it has the one thread on it that, like, that somebody's been pulling on, and it's slowly coming undone.
This is only the first series. This is, like, week 2 of what could be 8 weeks.
Well, then you just date the podcast every time. These podcasts are timeless. And then it's like, nope, they're not. This is exactly when it was recorded.
But yeah, that's happening.
We'll see what happens. So when the mic is completely spiked and all fucked up, it's because they won or they lost, and we'll find out after the fact.
Ham horns will be heard.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I got nothing. NSYNC has been on the brain all day.
NSYNC.
NSYNC. Yes.
Elaborate on that.
Made a playlist at work, and the playlist was with some other co-workers. And the idea was to play not really your guilty pleasure song, but kind of a guilty pleasure song. But really to play that song that, like, you just get the fuck down to. And then when you pull up to a red light, like, you have to, like, turn down because you're just like, I don't want the guy in the truck to look at me while I'm singing this. And then as soon as it goes, you just gun it and you're back into it.
I take a sip of my... I'm still jamming, but I take a sip of my coffee, so it looks like I'm not singing the words out loud.
Yeah. I start moving my beard in front of my mouth, like it's like I'm not.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. I've thought ahead. I've blown the speakers of my car out. I haven't blown the speakers of my car out, but my car is old and they've cracked, and nobody else can tell what was playing in my car, but I've gotten used to it, and it sounds normal to me. But to anybody else, it just sounds like. So.
I get somebody put "Tearing Up My Heart" on the playlist.
Oh yeah.
So I put that on this morning driving to work, and got the fuck down, and then I was like, I need more, so I just kept going through all the hits.
I don't blame you. I'm a big NSYNC fan.
It's gonna be me. I know. Well, you're a big JT fan, as I've learned.
Did you get down to Bye Bye Bye?
I did get down to Bye 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 because I did that one when I was in California for work.
Yeah.
We went out for karaoke one night, and that was one of the songs we sang, was Bye Bye Bye. It was me and two of the guys that I was in training with, plus a random stranger. We were there, and we signed up to sing, and we put ourselves down for Bye Bye Bye. And then we went to the bar to go get drinks, and we were talking about we're so excited to go sing Bye Bye Bye, and some stranger was there, and he was like, man, I wish I had friends to sing Bye 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 with. And we were like, you fucking do, man. Get up on stage. And this total ass stranger came up, and then
didn't he kill it? I think you showed me a video of this.
No, I killed it. He was there. He did okay, but yeah, it was very good.
He was the Lance Bass of the group.
He was, yeah, exactly. Just there to look
he was
pretty.
there.
Yeah. Almost going to space. But
yep.
Not actually.
I always forget about
that. Forgot he did. Yeah. It's my guy. But yeah, that was a fun time. So then this morning I was having these flashbacks to California and the fun stuff, and which is good because last night I had the opposite of flashbacks. Had a fucking terrible nightmare.
Oh.
Fell asleep on the couch in the living room. Contacts in, the whole deal. Watching Malcolm in the Middle. I fell asleep. Katie fell asleep. Dogs fell asleep. I'm having a dream. Follow me on this. In the dream, I'm in a Hardee's or some sort of fast food restaurant or maybe a movie theater. Who cares?
Of all fast food restaurants to come to mind,
wait, how
Hardee's
did you go from a
first.
fast food restaurant to a theater?
It was something like that. Whatever it was. and I go in and I have to pee. So I go into the restroom, and in the restroom they have the urinals. And for someone who's listening who's never been to a bathroom with urinals, I'll describe urinals. It's a wall toilet, and then there's usually some sort of separator device that divides each thing. And usually. In this particular case, the urinals, the separator wasn't just like a divider. It was actually like a paved out wall, right? So it was everything had its own wall. However, much like a stall would have a door, this had a little like saloon style door that you would pull shut and latch tight. Okay. But it was cut out. So really you would shut it and lock it, but you're still completely exposed. So it didn't do anything. But I remember in the dream shutting the thing, because that's what you did, and turning around to pee. And as I peed, someone reached around the wall and grabbed me, like around my chest, and pulled me. And as they pulled me from my chest, I woke up on the couch and felt something leave my body and go out the front door of my house. And the dogs were losing their fucking minds upstairs, barking and screaming as if they saw something come out of my body and run out the front door like I felt. And they're like, they were losing their shit and would not stop. And I'm like sweating, heart racing, have no idea what's going on. And I wake up Katie and I'm like, hey, we gotta let's go up to bed. I just want to go to bed. Can we go to bed? And she goes, where's the werewolf? Where's the werewolf? I was like, can we go to bed? Can we please go to bed right now? Right now, for fuck's sake. And that was my night.
Yeah, that's a good night.
Great night.
I would have played the first screen of Castlevania.
I
would have just beat the shit because there's wolves in the first screen of Symphony, right?
Yeah, but I went up. I put Malcolm in the middle back on in bed.
Frankie Muniz comedy.
Yeah, he got me.
God, I was his Wi-Fi forehead and everything. Have you guys seen that graphical image on the internet?
No, the last
I'll
I heard
find
about
it later. Maybe this can be the cover for our.
No, the last I heard about Frankie Muniz was he was watching Malcolm in the Middle for the first time ever and didn't realize how funny the show was. It was the other day. Yeah.
Wow. He's a race car driver.
Is he really?
Yeah.
What was he doing? Like that backyard redneck?
No, like someone gave him a blank check and see what I did there because he was in that movie. No,
was he in the movie?
I don't know, but he was in one of those movies. Oh God! Look at
what is that?
He does have a Wi-Fi symbol for forehead lines.
I wonder if he's a hotspot.
Probably.
Yeah, no, he took a lot of his money and invested it in like F1 racing and got way into it and does it. I don't know if I don't think he's actually like in the. Is that a league F1? Sure. I don't know if he's in the full ass thing, but like he totally
it's like a circuit. I think that's like the best way to describe it.
He totally got into that style of racing, and that's been his life.
Damn,
since
he looks
Malcolm.
like
that's the intense stuff.
He looks
too.
like he'd be an indie racer.
Yeah.
Like NASCAR scares the hell out of me, like the regular stock cars, but those Formula One cars, the ones that reach 200, and once they turn on their side, they fly in the air like an airplane. That's scary as shit.
Yeah.
And there's nothing covering your head; it's just a helmet.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good for him, I guess.
Yeah, seriously.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, this is a podcast about video games, and that's what we do, and that's what we play. So I'll ask Matt, what have you been playing in the last week as we move into our segment now playing?
All right, well, you're gonna love this. Hearthstone.
Sandeep. We're gonna move to Sandeep now. You and this fucking Hearthstone.
It's back. It's a cancer, I'll admit it, but it's back.
No, but you talked about Hearthstone as a way for you to kind of like play something without having to actively think about it. So it's been a big hockey week.
Mm-hmm.
Big baseball week.
Yeah, well, baseball's every day now.
I know, but it doesn't really matter. Like, obviously, you want your team to win, but it doesn't matter, right?
What, with the Orioles winning and stuff? Oh, I mean, it's 162
Like, if they lose,
games.
do you start breaking shit like you are tonight? If
No,
the Capitals lose?
No, it's 162 games. They can't win them all.
Right.
Although math said, what was it, 2 weeks ago, that they were on pace to become 162-0, and I fully expected it because math dictated that, but...
Yeah, that's usually how math works. That's.
But, no, they're allowed to lose 62 games.
Yeah. But Hearthstone's that good, like...
Yeah, and I started when I brought up Hearthstone. What was it, a couple of weeks ago now? I was saying that I don't know the cards, and part of the problem with me not winning games was back in the day when I used to play it, when it first came out, I knew what cards were coming. I knew in a certain scenario they were running a certain deck, what card to expect and to play around it. I'm learning those decks again. I'm learning what to play around. So I created there's like a Hearthstone like dedicated like deck builder website I went on. Found a nice hunter deck. I've been killing it. I've actually been as high on like the ladder thing as I've ever been.
Nice.
So I'm back. Hearthstone's back, baby.
Back in.
It is back.
You want to play Pokemon yet?
Fuck no.
All right.
I got Hearthstone.
All right. I'm gonna keep trying until it happens. One day you'll go. All right, let's just play the fucking.
No,
cards."
it's
You
Pokemon's
say
weird.
no, right? But you also said no to Bloodborne. You said no to buying a Switch until Splatoon came out.
I'm not saying no to Bloodborne.
You said not now till Bloodborne.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that.
Not now is different from a no.
But a no can become a not now. You
Yes!
know?
Yes!
Okay.
There he goes.
They didn't wave it off, right? Yes! It's over. The beard lives on.
Oh, right. So this means that was game 6.
That was game 6. They were up 3-2. It's over.
So now it's 4-2. They're done.
They're
they
gone
win.
to November.
They're in the next round.
Yes. And
All right.
they were playing the Pittsburgh Penguins now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, the Penguins beat the Flyers?
No,
Oh.
the Flyers weren't ever in it.
No?
No, they
Oh.
were not good this year. Whew. All right, podcast's over, right?
That was it. That was the
That's
Free
a
Juice
wrap.
episode 194. Sandeep, thanks for coming by. I'm glad you got this.
No worries.
See you.
Um,
See you in November.
There you go.
See you then.
Huh.
Yes. So
Hearts
Hearthstone.
racing.
Hearthstone.
Yeah,
Pokemon. Pokemon.
Yep, definitely. Next time Matt will be up on Pokemon.
No, Pokemon's weird because you got the energy cards and it too much.
See, all it takes
Yeah.
is just that little granular
That's-
bit of
that's
knowledge.
A tiny bit. Okay, so when
You know what was so disappointing with Pokemon cards? Getting the packs and then getting energy cards.
You
I'm like,
know
what
what?
the fuck is this?
They
No,
don't do
that
that
would have
anymore.
been the fucking tits grease for me
Right.
because when I was little, my parents were like, "No, this shit's really expensive. We're not gonna spend like however many dollars on like these stupid cards for you." So they buy me like those little starter packs, and then I'd be playing with friends, and I'd have like one good card, and be like, "I want to play this," and I'd, like try and do a move, and they'd be like, "All right, you need this energy card." I'd be like, "I don't have that because I only have one little dinky deck." So I would have killed for some energy
I
cards.
almost fell down a bad way with Pokemon cards. The first pack, the first like regular like random pack I opened, there was a holographic Venusaur in there.
Ooh. See?
And
That's how they get
and
you.
like yeah, exactly. Oh man, every pack's gonna have this. And like 2 packs later, I quickly realized this shit sucks.
So I had a very similar thing, which means you completed my trifecta because my first one was Charizard.
All right.
My second one was Blastoise. And I don't think my brother had Dick. And I guess, so you got his Venusaur that he was supposed to get.
I was in line
and,
in front of him at Drug City that day.
You got him in Drug City?
Yeah.
Oh. Mine was a KB Toys. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Forgot about KB Toys. There was an angry old man who lived there, worked there.
Oh.
And every time I went in, he would give me the old dead eye.
Interesting.
Was it? Oh, this was a man, so it wasn't
Yeah, this was a
the lady
man.
I may have seen earlier today.
It could have been. I mean, you never. It's not. It's 2017, but
You want to share that story real quick?
You can, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there, but sure, I'll share your story.
Oh wait, what are you talking about?
I mean, the lady you saw.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the it's 2017 joke.
Huh?
Thursday morning.
I
Never
think
mind.
we have
Never
to tell.
mind.
I think we have to tell it
No,
now.
it's not. It's
for
not like
the-
a story. Someone at work, his go-to joke is it's 2017 now.
Oh, not that one.
yeah.
No, I mean the fact that you were at a work event
Yeah. So
Oh.
yeah. So
that
work
was catered.
event, and I had a big hand in like the catering process and stuff for it. So I'm like working with a budget and stuff like that, and I have a budget, so I can't like order unlimited amount of food.
Right.
I have to get enough food for the
Everybody gets
people
a sandwich.
I'm accounting for. Yeah, I mean, the people I'm accounting for, and I can't get too much else because I'm going to go over budget. So
So you're saying there was a budget?
yeah,
Right.
there's a budget.
Limited number of sandwiches.
There's a limited number of sandwiches for everyone.
limited amount of coffee.
Yeah, so I got my food. Everyone was getting their food, and I was eating. And I look up, and there is a random crack lady in our line getting food.
Just hanging out.
Got a food. That plate was loaded. I looked at it.
As it should be.
It was hysterical. I'm like watching her go through the line, and then one of our coworkers, the way I had the line, it was like food, and then at the end of it was like the drinks and the coffee. One of our coworkers went to get coffee, and like looked at her, then looked at his coffee, and then did this double take with like just like the best face of what the fuck is happening.
Yep, that's exactly how it should. That's not the first time that's happened at one of those either, where like
or a random person has come and just started eating.
Yeah, it's
because the thing about
he came up to me, that individual came up to me, the one who did a double take. He was like, "Matt, did you know?" I was like, "I saw. Don't worry." He was like, "What the fuck?
What are you supposed to do?" I love it, man. I fucking love it.
So good. It's a crack lady. She was floating around too while I was setting up. I was afraid she would come over and ask me.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She has helped herself.
I wonder if she's related to the guy who was hanging out with a TV VCR DVD player combo.
Oh, that guy.
Who was ripping scenes from the Wonder Years.
This was on my last day, I think, that you saw him, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
He was hanging out. He had a 19-inch TV set up. It was a VHS player, VCR DVD player combo.
Was it where we work or is it?
Yeah. It was upstairs.
Oh, okay, got it.
Got it.
Got it.
It was upstairs where we do the food, and he was just set up, plugged into the wall.
Good for him.
And he was just like, scene by scene, like it was just like, I need to get this scene of Winnie Cooper. Great. Eject the DVD, pop in another VHS. Let's get this scene of little Kevin throwing a football. Fantastic. Here we go. It was just hanging out, watching the Wonder Years.
Good for that guy.
I know.
A beautiful moment.
Yep.
Probably on eBay right now. It'd be fine.
I don't know about eBay.
I feel like he's gone up and opened Pandora's Cube again, and he's telling about a Pandora's Cube.
God, I love that. Pandora's Cube, for those unfamiliar, was a place inside of a mall that was just... That was where you bought your video games back in the 1990s.
Yeah, this was like the 1990s, early 2000s like shop for people who wanted to buy like Japanese import games, but they didn't only sell Japanese import games, they sold very legal like merchandise and fan ripped VHSs. And
it's like when you go to Comic-Con now and there's that one booth that has like everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like in those shitty, really thin DVD cases.
Yeah.
And yeah. It's like they have every weird, bless you, anime and every, yeah.
I was very surprised when they got shut down.
Yeah, me too. Couldn't believe it. That was where you went to go get all your modded PS1s.
Yeah.
God, those were the days.
Yeah, they were.
But we digest.
We do. What else besides Hearthstone?
Oh, more baseball.
Yes.
Reinvigorated back in that. Started messing around with the online games.
Because you said they patched it, right?
Yeah, well, I haven't played online in like the last couple ones just because there's like weird... I always ran into like weird glitches and stuff. It wasn't like my connection was bad. I have a decent connection with every other online game I play, so I just think it's stuff on their server side. I have not run into many issues at all. There was one game that I love, like the 15 games online I've played now, where like there was a home run, but the game never registered it, and the batter was just stuck at home plate, and the game just like hung on it, and I ended up just turning off my console, and I'll take the loss, whatever.
Yeah,
I wasn't sitting there for 30 minutes waiting for the game to register something.
I've never played a baseball game online. How is it?
So that's the thing. Sometimes like lag's an issue and things like that. I don't know how they did it. There is some kind of networking genius or designing genius.
Yeah, because I'd imagine like that's something where like timing is really
important. Definitely. There is no lag when it matters. So like if you've seen any baseball footage on like our website when we were doing baseball week or whatever, but like the pitching meter thing where it goes like up and back and you have to time the X's, no lag there. No lag timing pitches on swings. You may see lag during like an animation when it doesn't matter, like someone's walking up to the plate, like that animation, or like after you catch the fly ball, like at fielding, or you get the out in the field, it might chug a little bit there if it wants to lag. But there is no lag at all where it counts and matters. And that's awesome.
Really interesting.
Now, there's some weird stuff, like, so if I'm batting and I hit a fly ball, like, the player in the outfield might, like, all of a sudden kind of, like, do, like, a jump cut to where the fly ball is, but that doesn't matter because I'm not the one doing that. As long as it's not doing his end, which I'm sure it's not, because I've never had that issue myself, that's fine.
That's cool. Tangentially, I just started watching a documentary the other day. I didn't finish it. I only got a few minutes in, meant to finish. But it's called No, a documentary. Have you heard of it?
No. No.
So it's a baseball documentary. It's about a guy named Doc Ellis who played for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 70s. I've heard that name before. And it's about a game that he threw a no-hitter in 1970, and the whole game he was tripping on LSD. And,
I know this guy.
Yeah, it's about that game and just kind of about his life because he was an interesting guy. Seems like a cool documentary. I'm gonna finish one.
What's it called? No.
How the hell do you pitch on acid? I'm like trying to think. Like, how do you think straight?
I couldn't handle being in public on acid, like in public in general, but like with just that many faces just looking at me, that would weird me.
Like, I'm so serious when I'm playing online about like knowing my rhythms or pitch sequences. I know I love a good pitch sequence. Joe's found that out.
I have. If you need to learn about how great Matt is at understanding baseball, please go to thefreecheat.com. Watch me try out as a pitcher man. But whoa, Matt knows a lot about pitching.
I love like I'll do the first two batters, like I'll put in the same rhythm, like fastball up high, slider in the dirt, change up low and away, and like they'll fall for it. But then the third time they're expecting that change up low and away. Nope, slider back inside. they swing and miss it every time. I love it. But baseball, they did a lot of good infrastructure changes to the online systems, and I really enjoy playing online. It's the first time I've played online, I think, since like the PS2 game. Like,
you played on PS2?
MLB The Show? Yeah.
Online you played?
Yeah.
You had the old connector hooked up?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Legit.
How much FF11 were you playing?
None.
Oh, you blew it.
I didn't blow it. No, if anything, I did the right way.
Yeah.
No, I never got the hard drive. I didn't give a fuck.
Oh, I had the hard drive in mine, except I like modded mine and put games on it.
Yeah.
That was cool. It was a cool boy.
As you should be.
Yeah. But what have I been playing lately? I knew that question was coming. I preempted it.
It was on its way.
Yeah. Well,
was that everything you played?
I have one more thing, but I'm curious to see what you play because it might tie in.
First, I thought I was gonna do a clever I preempt your next question. I feel like a boob now.
You did, but usually Matt'll give you that look of just like I'm done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With one more thing with baseball, I was talking about the quick simulation thing that I've been doing with that franchise of the Orioles.
Right. Yes. Yeah,
complete a whole season.
Damn.
Complete a whole season.
So to reiterate that it's a new feature in MLB The Show 17 where you just kind of say go, and it will simulate, inning after inning for you, and then you can jump in at will if you feel like you want to try and influence the swing a little bit better than the RNG, random number generator. You could dive in and play, but otherwise, yes, you went through a whole season just sim. You never jumped in?
Kind of cool.
I never jumped in, no.
Nice.
I made it as a wild card team. Mm-hmm. I won the wild card games to get into the actual first round, and then I got swept out by the best team in the league. And I was like, nah, well.
Who's the best team, the Yankees?
No, it was the Indians, at least in the American League.
Yankees. I understand.
Then already finishing off season, I'm off to the next season.
Are you going to do it all sim again?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's like that. Yeah, I'm going to have two franchises. One where I'll jump in a little bit more, then this one's like strictly just simulating me being a GM.
It's pretty cool.
Me signing the players. But then one last thing I did play.
One last ride?
I did not see the movie yet.
Did that come
from my hair?
It came from somewhere on you. But yes, a red string just came out of your body.
I bleed red.
Maybe. I'm going gray, you're going red, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I needed to escape into a game on Friday because Yeah, Thursday, work, there was other shit going on. Not a great day. But yeah, Friday I was off. I needed to escape into something.
Again, we had chicken nuggets on Thursday.
And it was 420.
Right. We went and got dank nugs on 420. Just saying. Dipped them in hot mustard. Although you didn't, because you made the wrong choice.
I got barbecue.
I mean, barbecue is a good man's sauce. However, the hot mustard is the way you go. Yesterday, everyone was like, hey, we're going to go to lunch. Let's go get something nice. And I went, I got this, guys. McDonald's. And they went, see ya. So I went to McDonald's and ate in the parking lot by myself. Dipped my nugs. I didn't get nuggets. What did I get? I got cheeseburgers. Continue. You had a bad 420.
Yeah, that sounds so bad. Like, how can you have a bad 420?
I know. No, honestly, my favorite thing about 420 is Mother 3. Because that was the 11th anniversary the other day. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I celebrated.
I thought about it. I almost jumped into Bloodborne so I can run around Yarnum and get those dank Yarnum nugs. I did not, though. But yeah, Friday I was off. I just want to get lost in something. I put my Switch into the dock, and I think for the first time in like 3 weeks, play some Zelda on my TV.
Whoa. Ooh. What was that like?
Well, I tried...
Please tell me it was like a Breath of the Wind.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark is here.
Yeah, Mark made it after all.
No, I was trying to do my thing that I discussed last week. I'm not going to get into that again for spoiler's sake, but I gave up on it. There's just one individual in there.
As you should. You should play the
So that one individual, I said, fuck him, I'm going to take him out in his home turf. So I did another Divine Beast, and I completed it. I did this in the course of like 4 or 5 hours. Like to get like the item to go into it, then going into it, doing the puzzles, and then beating the boss. It took me about 4 or 5 hours, and then I went back. And I got farther. I'm past the things that were I was struggling with.
Right.
And I saw something else, and I'm gonna get into that. And
okay.
Yeah, I got farther.
So what did you do? Did you save it after the 2 things? That way you've got a thing you can just kind of regenerate every time?
And when I boot up my Switch, I'm outside that area.
So when because I didn't do it that way, remember?
Yeah.
Sorry we're being kind of cryptic, but I don't want to spoil anything in the game. But when I did it, because I had completed all 4 Divine Beasts as intended by the game developers to play it the proper way, when I went in, it was just the...
No, that's bullshit, because you get that quest right away. Go defeat Ganon.
Right, but...
And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to follow the main quest line.
But when I would go in, it was just right to Ganon, right? So what you're doing is you're having to fight a little bit more. You
have to redo it.
So if you lose to him, you have to redo those 2? Got it. Okay.
No, I'm not going to do the cheap save state thing. I could. I think I'd be able to do that. I don't know if you'd be able to be honest.
I mean, you're already cheating the fucking games. Why not
go
even further?
It's a quest.
Buy a fucking Game Shark. Pop it in. See what happens.
30. I can't help it. At an hour into the game, the quest was like, hey, go beat Ganon. I was like, okay. I'm just following the main quest line. What do you want me to do?
It's an option. You could also not pay for your chicken nuggets on Dank 420, get free nuggets. But you could walk in, you could rob the McDonald's. That's an option too. You could go to the store, you could get a gun, you could steal the gun, and you could take it to McDonald's, and you could hold up the McDonald's and say, I want all the nugs.
So you made a mistake.
It's
you
420.
didn't scratch out the serial number on the gun.
I stole it with a scratched out serial number, obviously.
You made a mistake. You're not ready for payday.
And then I shot out the serial number on the car that I stole to drive to McDonald's.
Look, if we're going to be playing payday together, you got to think of this shit before you go rob the bank.
I know. Again, just because it's an option and a choice doesn't mean it's what you should do. And what you do is what defines you, as we learned by Katie Holmes in Batman Begins. What do you want to define you? Clearly,
I'm going to be...
cheating.
That's not cheating. If anything, I'm making it harder on myself. It's the Zelda way of bumping the difficulty from normal
making it
to
harder
hard.
Inefficient cheating.
You know what you're making it harder on? You're making it harder on the free cheese to unanimously vote for a game at the end of the year for Game of the Year, because you're not going to experience it the same way. You're going to have some stupid ass vote this time December. That's what's going to happen.
Sorry, I had a so far better experience with the other game.
With what? Oh, god damn it.
I think my platinum trophy that I celebrated on air speaks for itself with how much I love that game.
He's talking about Horizon, Breath of the stupid robot dinosaurs.
Zero Dawn.
It's
Zero Dawn.
Breath of the Wild.
It's Horizon Zero Dawn. I know that game is so good. You think it's Zelda at times, but
did you platinum it though?
Oh yeah, I got a plat.
Fucking right.
And I celebrated on air with a beer. Just like I celebrated my Bloodborne platinum on air with a beer.
So what are you thinking? One last ride for Breath of the Wild? And you got
I'm gonna complete it. Like I want to go back, and because honestly, one of my favorite parts of the game is the Divine Beast, like the puzzles and stuff in there. Like I got into the Gerudo Desert one, and I figured out what the mechanic was. And I was like, "Fuck!" And then after I figured out what the mechanic was, I figured out what the mechanic was, and I was like, "Fuck! This is next level thinking."
It's pretty dope.
But yeah, I'm gonna go back. I just want to be a dirtbag.
The only reason that I'm so strict about it is because you know my experience. I played through the game and really spent some time wandering and exploring, and then I finally beat the final boss, and the wind was just completely out of my sails to go back and do anything else. And it took me a while to get back into it, to actually go back and start finding the shrines that I didn't find before. And just knowing that experience, you know what I mean?
I was starting to get that thing again though, where I was doing the Gerudo Desert stuff to get into the Divine Beast. Like I was doing the thing like I gotta go to point A to point B. Oh shit, there's something over here. Let me go.
Yeah.
Let me go take care.
Well,
of
it's something like the I think we talked about it recently. A little plug for the No Clip documentary, Rediscovering Mystery. But the whole idea of how just like discovery in games is lost so much now because the internet's there, and it's partially because everyone's always talking about everything and did you see this, and everyone's posting screenshots and videos, and everything is everywhere. But it's also the fact that everything's a click away now, so you get stuck and there's no longer a need to think. You just go, I'm stuck, somebody else probably figured it out, let me just click 2 buttons, right? But like that's what we've become accustomed to doing, and with this game I really stepped into it going like, you know what, I'm not going to do that this time. Unfortunately, I got it launch day, which is weird for me because I don't normally jump into games launch day. But I did, and I was like, I'm just going to let this happen. I'm just going to do it organically. I'm not going to look anything up. I'm not going to do anything except for the playground talk like it would have as a kid. And I feel like that made that experience so much better. If I had every shrine I hit been like, all right, what's the answer to this one? It would have been a completely different experience than like, I'm going to try and pull this up quickly.
I almost pulled up a guide. To get into the Gerudo Desert, you need the electric helmet thing, the helm, and it's with the Wu-Tang Clan.
I don't even. Yeah, that.
You have to infiltrate that. And I was having I was like playing Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
it's like but I got to a room and I did not know what to do in this room.
I know exactly the room.
I was
because
like,
it was a hidden door.
Dying because I was thinking it was something else. There's something else in this room that I'm missing. And I was like hitting stuff with like fire arrows to try to burn. And I did find a hidden room in the other room.
I watched a whole season of Golden Girls trying to figure out that goddamn room.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking with you. I just
and then
sat there
like
just...
I was in a certain angle and I pulled out my magnet because I didn't realize it was I didn't realize those chests could come out of the sand.
I did, but that's where I learned it because I had exhausted every option.
And I pulled that little magnet and I'm like, oh, the treasure chest, that's cool. And I pulled it out, and I think like when I pulled it out, like my reaction for some reason was to hit the trigger to switch the camera, like, whoa, watch out.
Yeah.
But then when I turned the camera, I saw this
door that's magnetic, and you're
said,
like, oh.
Mark, trademark.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, oh.
Right.
Oh.
Right, but that that moment is like what makes this game
that would
so
have been
special.
defeated if I would have looked that up in a guide.
But
I was so
But again,
close.
like there's so many moments in that game that are like that I feel like rushing right to the boss, you lose so much of that. And then the fact that once you beat the boss, you feel that sense of completion that I think would prevent you from wanting to go back and experience it. Like,
there is something else in that area.
I'm showing Sandeep and Matt a note that I drew on my phone of a bunch of orange and blue dots. But this was a puzzle for one of the shrines. But like, I haven't done this shit since I was a kid, where you actually take the time to draw out and like work out a puzzle on paper in front of you. I mean, I'm using my phone because it's 2017. Hashtag blaze it. But I just markered all over my hand and my computer. Fuck everything. But yeah, I mean, like that doesn't happen anymore. And I love this game for that. And I don't know, this game did something to me in that way of just like now, and I'll talk in a while, I'm sure, but playing through NieR, doing the same thing. Like, I'm not looking anything up, and it's so much better that way. And NieR's a fucking weird cryptic game, but like just going into it organically, we don't do that anymore.
There, and one last thing on Zelda, I was in a shrine, and it was one of the ones where you have to manipulate the your controller. It's like a labyrinth where you got to kind of guide a ball through like a maze, and it was weird. Like, you had to connect it to like a bridge. So you had to get the ball in the area and balance it just right to kind of like get it on this little lip so it can go down to the spot. And I failed like 8 times, and like just in frustration, like, fuck you, ball. Yeah. And like, it went flying. And then like 30 seconds later, I heard the den. Yep. And the door opened. I was like, oh, fuck you. Yep. That's all I had to do. I just had frustratingly.
Was that the same one where you can turn it upside down?
I don't know.
Because there's one puzzle in that game that you play
I've heard of this puzzle.
And you have to basically like rotate your switch or your controller in order to move the ball through the maze. And at first,
and there's a couple lips that
yeah. And there was a point where I went, well, wait, if I just tilt it back this way, the ball will respawn and fall right in the spot that I need it to fall, and then I can flick it just like that to do that. But apparently you can just turn the fucking controller upside down and you have a flat surface that it falls on, and then it's much easier to actually solve the
I will say that's the one thing with the Pro Controller. I don't like doing that. For some reason, it feels better doing it on the tablet.
Yeah, I get that.
But that's my only.
I think it's because it's like an immersion thing, but yeah.
And I realized too, Friday, I can navigate the inventory menu with the D-pad, and it's so much better.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
It's so much better with the D-pad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I'm progressing through Zelda. I hopefully will have completed. I would put that in air quotes. Completed the game.
It'll always be in air quotes.
Oh yeah, there is no way I'm 100% in this game.
Yeah.
There's just not enough time in the world.
I mean, there is.
There's not.
But Sandeep,
I got this.
Sandeep, tell me.
This is an unexpected question. I picked up Resident Evil 7 again. I had been playing that for a little while. Was I on last time when I was talking about accidentally buying a
I don't know if you were, but
I know we talked about it, but I don't remember if I talked about it on the podcast.
I don't know. I don't think so. But even if you did, it's been a while. So yeah, tell us.
Yeah, I did a cool thing. I accidentally bought a PlayStation VR. I say accident. This seems to be a trend with me, as we know. But I bid on a PlayStation VR thinking that I wouldn't win, and then woke up the next morning and it was like, congratulations, you've won a PlayStation VR.
That's alright. He accidentally bought that bullshit over there, that pad.
Matt's pointing to my
Wii U Fit board.
Intentionally bought Wii U.
You know what else is throwing me off too? The PlayStations are in the spot that I used to hate. So Sandeep, the Fisher-Price toy that's now next to the TV over there. It used to be where the PlayStations were, and it's throwing me off because I usually look at that section over there and hate. But it's like all love and
nostalgia.
It's like I get my hard eyes over there. But then I look a little bit to the right, and then there it is, the Fisher-Price toy
the classic Wii U gamepad.
Good old classic.
It's a Fisher-Price toy.
Anyway,
I think the U-Draw was better designed than that shit.
Lies. So accidental.
Yeah. So
how do you accidentally?
Well, what you do?
I don't know. You tell me.
You start by lowering your level of
sobriety.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And then you remember that Resident Evil 7's coming out and it's going to be in VR, and that's a game that you'd very much like to play in VR. And for shits and giggles, you go on eBay. And you're like, because you can't. I looked for a PlayStation VR before and they were sold out like everywhere.
Yeah.
So you got this around the time it was tough to find one.
It was, and like I was like, well, I wonder how much people are scalping them for. And then I saw a few on eBay, and I was like, that's actually not that bad. That's like list price. So I bid on one, not thinking I would win, and not even remembering that I did that, and woke up with a surprise in the morning. It was great, and then I got it. And have we talked about PlayStation VR at all on here besides like me buying one?
Mark's experienced it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not played it directly. I don't think you have directly either.
Like Mark has talked about his personal experience, and then I have like kind of mentioned your experience.
Yeah.
Just through you telling me and then me communicating it here.
So
but
it's cool. It's cool and it's immersive, and a game like Resident Evil 7 is fucking perfect for it. Like, it's so good in VR. I can't play VR for more than like 15 minutes without feeling like I'm going to vomit.
Really?
It gives me motion sickness really badly. There's a couple of reasons for that, I think. Well, like the obvious one is that you're experiencing things that are in motion, and it's encompassing, so things have depth and you're moving around, but your body's not moving, so your brain's just like, what, there's something wrong here. Like, it looks like things are moving, but I can't feel like my body moving. Makes me nauseous. And then thing number 2, which is one of the reasons that I think VR is a cool idea, but I don't think that it's... I feel like VR is one of those things that's really cool and it'll take off for a little while, but then it'll kind of die back like 3D TVs did.
Right.
I think so. But the reason for me is that like you need space to do it. Like you can't like... I can't sit down on my bed and play VR. Some people can, but I think probably a lot of people, I don't know if it's the majority, but at least for a good proportion of people, it's fucking hard to play VR, like, just sitting there. You have to have somewhere where you can move around and have room to, like, maneuver.
I think it depends on the thing. Like, I was actually talking about it this weekend with the guy at work, and he was talking about how he has it and he loves it. The experience he described to me that he loved so much was playing Drive Club VR.
Yeah.
And he's got an actual wheel, and he's got pedals, and doing that, again, like, you're sitting stationary and you're in it, so you can kind of... feel that, like, that one I can see, but in your case, like, wandering through Resident Evil, unless you're physically moving, it's got to feel a little disorienting.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad one too, because you're moving through lots of different environments, and that game in particular is kind of claustrophobic, so you've got lots of like visual cues at different depths. So you've got things that are like close to your face, and then like the map will have something that's a lot further away, and because it's all first person perspective, like it really fucks with your brain. But,
which
like,
I think is really cool.
I think it's really cool too. Like, I played a couple of other games in like the PlayStation VR comes with like a little demo disc.
Yeah.
And I played a couple of the other demos in there. And there's some that are just kind of like cutesy, like kid type games where you're controlling like a little like PlayStation VR robot or whatever. Those are actually really cool, and I don't get motion sickness as badly from them. But like Drive Club, actually, that there was a demo for that on there, and I don't have the wheel or anything, but that one was pretty cool. But if I looked side to side, that would give me motion sickness. But like looking, if you're in a cockpit view and you're looking straight out of the window, like I can handle that. But I digress. So anyway, so PlayStation VR, I started playing Resident Evil 7 on that. It's really cool, and it's like the part that really brought home to me why it's kind of immersive was really stupid. Because if you've played the demo, you know, like the kitchen demo, you're wandering around like the house and like you go into the kitchen. And I was walking through the kitchen and I turned to the right and there's a microwave sitting there. And when you're playing the game on a TV, there's a microwave there. But when you're playing the game in VR, which sounds stupid because it's so fucking obvious, like you turn to the right and there's a microwave there, but it's got all of like the exact same proportions that a microwave would be have in real life. And you turn around and it's this real like physical looking object that has like size that's relative to like your body. Like it really changes it.
Yeah, I still haven't tried it, so I don't know the like feeling, but from the way you describe it, like
it's cool. I just wish like I didn't feel like I was gonna die every time I played it.
So do you feel like, because again, I think this is the point that you're getting at, is like you start to scale this thing up and it gets too big to the point where like you just don't have the fucking space. But like I think it's HTC has the weird 3D
Vive?
treadmill. Well, but aside from the Vive, but like that weird fucking treadmill nightmare. Have you seen that thing?
I don't have. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right, but like you get to that point where like then you start to simulate motion.
Yeah.
But then at that point, like, why don't you just fucking take off the headset and throw away the fucking thing and just go? I don't know.
Yeah, like I think that's really cool. I think the technology is cool, but I just don't have a whole like room to dedicate to that.
Even like I do, but like, what am I gonna fucking do with it?
But like, yeah, I mean, you can't like stow it away or like put it somewhere. Like it's got to be there all the time. Otherwise, like, where the fuck are you gonna put it?
Yeah, I don't know.
And like every time you want to, like, if I come home from work and I'm kind of tired, but I'm like I want to play something, I'm not gonna go to all the trouble of like setting up like this whole elaborate like fucking thing that I have put away in a closet somewhere.
Yeah, no.
That's a messy setup too.
Yeah,
that's a lot of wires and cabling.
But I don't know what the next thing is. Well, actually, like I talked about it this weekend. I didn't realize that these existed, but there's gloves with motors inside of it that are designed to emulate the feeling of certain things. So like the demo that was shown off was you could program it so you were holding an apple.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of cool, actually.
The glove itself would give you enough like feedback and resistance in the motor where just squeezing made it feel like you were holding that. You get that immediate feedback.
That's
so I
really
think
cool, actually.
The idea that the next step of that would be like full bodysuit, buy yourself a unitard, and then like have it fitted with all of those motors and things.
It gets more and more ridiculous though, which is just funny to me because we get to the point now where we have like all these things that seem like they'd be really futuristic, and then we're thinking about what the future is. And we always used to think about like when you look at like the 1950s versions of the future, they would have some things that look plausible and then other things that just look fucking ridiculous. And we think we're like kind of beyond that, but then when we're looking at like what's our future gonna look like, we were thinking of whole fucking bodysuits and like a whole room in your house dedicated to like VR and whatever the fuck.
We better call this suit a Nolan North suit or a
Troy
Baker
we
suit
absolutely
because
should.
like that's all they wear. I feel like because they're so busy working, being in every single game.
Seriously.
But then like how far do we get to how far into it is it like? Everything is VR, and then are we VR? Is this a simulation? Like
I think at the end of the day, we have to also realize that like entertainment is mostly about like what do I feel like doing at the end of the day when I'm crashing? Because I want something that's engaging enough to engage me, but I also want something that like I could be fucked to actually like be a part of and experience.
Yeah.
But I stopped playing. Like I'm laboring like really slowly towards the fact that I stopped playing it on VR, and I'm just playing it normally now. And
is it a better experience?
I don't feel like I'm gonna die, so yeah, but it's different. It's not necessarily in a bad way.
Is it as scary still?
It's scary in a different way. I don't know, like being like playing a game like Resident Evil in VR, like it puts you in the middle of it, and it's like it's super scary because of that. Especially like if I'm standing up and playing it and like kind of turning around, it gets disorienting, and like that kind of adds to it being scary. It's kind of like you remember in the old Resident Evil like games how the controls were fucking terrible, but that made it scarier because it was like
you can't control.
You had no
character,
control, right?
It's kind of like that where you're like turning around and like you're moving your body in the real world, and it's like I don't know where I am. Like I could trip over my table or something like but you have to kind of like be aware of your surroundings, but like it limits your body movements a bit, but then that makes it kind of scarier if that makes sense.
Did you have any of the have you ever seen those things or maybe done one where you kind of put your hand in front of a mirror? I forget the way it's set up, but one of those dumb experiments where like you can trick your brain into thinking that like you're actually experiencing pain when you're really not.
Oh yeah. It's like a trick mirror. Like you put your hand in and it looks like your hand's there, but it's actually somewhere else, and like you can like plunge a knife through it, and it looks like it's going through your hand,
but it's not. But you still feel the pain. Like you trick your brain into it. Does that happen in something like Resident Evil where like you're playing and you see your character get stabbed or something else or?
Yeah.
Or I mean, like, I'm trying not to go to spoiler territory, right? But like things happen in that game. Did you feel that pain? Like, did it trigger any of that stuff? Or
did you feel that particular pain?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think you're
because there's certain things like you see a guy get kicked in the dick and you're like, but you don't feel it. You just feel it, but you don't feel it. But I've done that.
You've gotten kicked in the dick?
I've gotten kicked in the dick. No, but I've done that that hand trick.
Yeah. And you do actually feel it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that what I've done, and it's like, holy shit. Like, But the you see a guy kicked in the dick, it's not the same as the hand pain.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect analogy. It's kind of like that, where it's like I'm seeing somebody get kicked in the dick, but it's not like I'm watching somebody stab something that looks like my hand.
God.
You kind of do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that game is great.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy that game. I like playing it not in VR, differently to the way that I like playing it in VR, but they're both good.
I remember you told me after you got the VR, like, I'm going to play through it and then I'm going to sell it because I don't want to.
Yeah, that's why I'm not playing it. That's part of the reason why I'm not playing it in VR now, too. One, because it's just a messy setup in my room. I don't really have anywhere to put it. And two, I'm trying to sell it, so it's like packed away.
Are you still trying to get rid of it?
Oh, yeah. Like, there's not like I have no justifiable reason to keep it. There's nothing I'm going to play on it.
All right, I want to play it before you get rid of it.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I guess you don't care now, but Target has a lot of those games on clearance. Like, I know.
Don't tempt me, Frodo.
All right, I'm just saying. I've seen a lot of. They're not like I think the only good one I've seen is I almost called it House of the Dead, but what's the not House of the Dead? The
Time Crisis, Time Splitter.
I wish
House
Time
of the
Crisis.
Bread.
Oh, the new Heart
Until Dawn, Rush of Blood.
Dude, there's a demo for that on the demo disc. That's actually really fucking cool.
And that one's the one I keep seeing on clearance for like $12, $13.
Yeah, I would totally play through that game. That one didn't. You're sitting in like a roller coaster for that whole one, so you're not moving around.
Rails.
That one didn't trigger motion sickness for me as badly.
Yeah, that one I think even regular price it's only $20. But, it was.
That's actually a really cool game. I do recommend you check that out if you have a VR.
PlayStation did that franchise dirty. Here's like not one advertisement for that franchise I've ever seen.
For Until Dawn?
Until Dawn, Until Rush, like anything.
I feel like they were showing off Until Dawn a little bit last year.
I feel like I didn't see much of it.
Was it last year? That
was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Because remember last year
you bought it on the
sale. Yeah.
Well, last year you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today. Did you play Until Dawn?
I didn't play the regular one, only the demo on the VR. I didn't play it non-VR.
I have not played it yet. I'm waiting for the mood to strike.
It was good. It was good for like a good playthrough. I thought
it would be stupid too, playing through it at first. Like I didn't know what it was because I hadn't seen any advertisements or anything on it. But
advertisements.
Yeah, advertisements. None. And then I played it, and it was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
so, surprise for me.
I mentioned my friend Nick before on the podcast. He played through it, and he told me I would never get through the game. I'm like, he's like, oh, but you can't take 2 steps in PET or in the Resident Evil 7 kitchen demo. I'm like, yeah, but that's like different because that's like first person. You're like in it in a non-VR way.
Yeah,
this is more like a third person kind of ordeal. Yeah. You're like kind of out of it a little bit more.
Like I think
I could get through it.
Did you do it?
I haven't played it yet. I think I'm gonna wait for like the Halloween kind of time.
I think you could.
I'd be fine.
Probably get through.
I got through the House of Horrors and Bloodborne.
Yeah.
That spider room.
We played through it live on the website. Kyle and I live streamed it a few years back, not long after it came out, because we rented it from Redbox, because that's a thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
I'll play it.
Yeah, it's good. Anything else outside of?
That's pretty much it. I mean, other than like old retro-y games.
Anything stand out lately?
I went on like a binge of really feeling like I wanted to play Final Fantasy VI again because you were talking about it, Joe.
So good.
And I did. I got through a chunk of it and then stopped playing it. And today I was just kind of going back and trying to figure out where I was in the story.
Oh, that's so tough to do.
I'm so bad at that. Like when it comes to games, and I've said it before, but like if I don't play things as kind of a straight shot, if I take breaks, I'll forget where I was and I'll forget what's going on.
Well, it's really tough in a game like 6 because you. Like that one happened to me a few times because I'd played it, like I'd get really into it and then something else would come along and that would kind of fall on the back burner and I'd come back and I'd be in the middle of a fucking field and I'm like, what was I doing? I think I was, okay, I'm Terra, and now what? I don't know.
Mine's even fucking stupider than that. Like I would go to like a weapon shop or like an armor shop and try and buy items, and then I'd be looking at what I have, and it'll tell you like if you buy this, like these characters, it'll boost their stats. These ones it'll lower it. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, nah, but I don't know if I already like visited this weapon shop. Like I don't know, like did I have a plan for like the way I want to buy weapons? I'm not gonna buy weapons. Fuck it. And then I'll leave and I'll be like, no, should I have bought the weapon? I don't know.
I'm just gonna turn it off. I'm gonna go do something else.
Yeah.
That's why I'm on like attempt 7 of Final Fantasy 7 right now. Because I can't. Yeah. Once the world opens up in those games, like there's really
anybody's
nothing.
Guess.
There's like no other indications either.
When I pause like a game though, and I come back to it like a bit of time later, I'll always just assume that like I had some like grand master plan for the way that I wanted to do it, and I can't remember what it was, and just be like, I don't know, and then stop playing.
I hate video games.
Yeah, me too.
Just kidding. That's why I do a video game podcast, because I love them so much. Well, speaking of old games, I played a little bit more of A Link to the Past, but nothing like to, strike ground on just yet. Maybe later in the podcast, talk a little bit more about Link to the Past. But Super Mario World, again, like that one I never beat. That one I never played much of, other than like dive in, play up to a certain point, and then go, yep, that's a Mario game, and kind of move along. Yeah. But now I'm like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find every hidden Switch palace without looking it up. I'm going to find every hidden exit. I'm going to do it. And I'm like, I'm fucking doing it. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Do you find that to be kind of a liberating way to play games now, though?
Oh my God, I'm like
to not like have...
I'm so about it.
Yeah.
There's a few things where I've been like staring at it for a while, and I'm like, I know, and I like start to look it up. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. It changes everything.
I'm trying to get there. I've been trying to do it, but I'm such a spaz kid now that like I'll be playing something and not be able to figure something out and be like, just like don't go to the internet. Don't
it's really hard to do that. Like it's because it's been so accessible to us for the last 20 years.
I take my phone and I put it like in another room.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go.
It depends what I'm playing, because if it's something like a Horizon or a Mass Effect, and like I can't figure out what to do, I have to check to make sure it's not a bug.
Right? Yeah.
Good point, actually.
Like it depends. Like Zelda, I have not heard a single thing about bugs.
Right.
In like the storyline, like the quest and stuff like that. So in that room when I'm stuck, I'm not thinking, oh, maybe the game's bugging out on me.
Yeah. It's never that.
So.
Yeah,
and then, like there was like one time in Horizon where I was like, "Am I missing something, or did the game bug out on me?" And I was missing something. So I was like, "Oh, okay, good. I didn't waste my time on this." But I am about to jump into the Mass Effect world here soon, and I sent a little prayer that what the hell am I going to run into there? But I got this.
No, it's definitely like it. You kind of know. We're just on the same level now. But you kind of earn this...
I'm turning into him. Don't you see my face?
You kind of earn this like deeper respect for the game. Like when you're like... I don't know. Because it's like... When you approach it that way, you realize that it has enough respect for you to hide shit in there.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since... Like a lot of modern Nintendo stuff, especially during the late Wii era, people complain about Skyward Sword all the time, and I experienced that like playing through a little bit of it last November. You're just like you take 2 steps, and it's like, did you know a blue rupee's worth? Like, yes, I do.
Yeah, like the little helper things.
Yeah,
I would get kind of pissed with that in Uncharted.
Yeah,
Uncharted will do it too. It's not quite as I don't know. I've never played like Zelda. But like it'll do that too where you'll get kind of stumped on something and you'll be trying to figure it out and you'll want to do it on your own, and then it'll just kind of throw you like the
ding thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And some of it it's like I don't know, and that's something that was in that No Clip documentary. I will never stop talking about. Yeah. I think it was Jonathan Blow who talked about it, the guy who made Braid and The Witness, and he discussed the fact that like you don't even spend a minute trying to solve a puzzle, and the game's just like, "Okay, here's the solution." Yeah. And it's like,
he has a very relaxing voice to listen to,
does,
but it's like that little baby lisp that he has for some reason that like takes the edge off of his voice, makes it very relaxing.
Otherwise, he'd be way too intense.
Yeah,
you'd be terrified of him.
Yeah,
but he's like, he had a really good point of just like, give me a fucking minute. Like, let me try to figure this out. If I need help, I'll ask you for help. But I don't need help. Like, that respect that's kind of given to you, you can give back to the game for allowing you to discover new things. And I don't know when it clicked for Nintendo, but like a lot of stuff started to do that. And it's nice to see something like Breath of the Wild be so open to just letting you do whatever and fail, like giving you the opportunity to fail, which is really nice. Super Mario World does that like tenfold, which is why I think it still holds up. God, 26 years later.
Yeah.
It's fun. I don't know. It's frustrating as all hell.
Where are you at?
I think I'm through 5 castles at this point.
Okay.
I don't know what.
I don't know what area that would
I
be
forget. It's like, I don't remember the name of I can't remember the like.
So you're going like up, and then like around.
I've gone around and I've started to come back down again.
Okay.
I came through the woods part.
Are you in the? So you hit the woods.
I'm through the woods.
Through the woods.
Over to grandmother's house we go.
I knew that was coming.
It had to. I'm through that. I just beat. I can't remember the name.
I'm not gonna remember.
Yeah, but somebody's castle. I beat that, and then like, it's fucked up, man. The way that map does shit. Like you see the castle here, and the path you came on is right to it. And then there's another castle here with a path leading back to the woods. And you go back to the woods and there's no path to that path. And you're like, I know there's a fucking secret.
The woods
and I've gone through
suck.
Yeah, I've gone through every level so many times. Like, where is it? I can't fucking get it. So I'm going to trudge forward and whatever. That one's
brilliant.
So good.
Brilliant.
Yep. Makes me wish I had a Super Nintendo when I was a kid. But I didn't, and now I'm playing it on my little 3DS Renaissance. NieR Automata is a game I've talked about.
I've heard you talk about that, but I also don't remember what it is.
So NieR Automata is a sequel to NieR, which doesn't matter at all, because you never have to play NieR ever. But if you want to, Square's reprinting it on PS3. But yeah, NieR Automata is published by Square Enix, directed by, or at least the concept, the story behind the game is by a man named Yoko Taro, who any of his games I'm starting to learn after playing this and kind of figuring out how he has this really deep, dedicated fan base. Any of his games really have this just some sort of difference about them, like where there's just, he does things because he does things. And because he wants them to be done, right? And
so you're saying he's Hideo Kojima?
I was gonna say he's got the Kojima kind of vibe to him.
Yeah, I mean, like imagine that without the Rockstar stuff. You know what I mean?
But you can Rockstar.
I know. But yeah, so this game is it's in the year 11,000 something, and you're playing through as an android named 2B, and there's a lot of weird shit. So basically, like NieR, it was an RPG. There's multiple endings to that game, and like the fifth ending, one of the subplots of the fifth ending becomes the story for this game.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it's related, right? But it's really like tapped into my brain in that weird like part of your brain that drifts a little bit and starts to think about parallel universes and infinity and all of that crap and how like everything's possible and whatever.
Yeah.
You can go for days and days and days. But I like that idea where like if you make one wrong turn, like you're suddenly in a whole different world.
Yeah. What's it on?
PS4.
Huh.
And PC. I think from what I hear, the PC version is not quite there. The same guy who did the DS fix, the Dark Souls fix, did one for NieR that apparently cleans it up quite a bit. But I've been playing on PS4 and I've had no problems. 60 frames a second. Really beautiful game.
The game's 60 frames?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
At least to me, who is kind of...
You can tell 60 frames to 30, though. Or like a higher frame rate to 30.
I didn't used to be able to notice the difference on like YouTube videos that were 60 FPS, but like when you're playing games, you can notice. And now I can kind of notice it in videos too.
This is the first game where I was like, why? Because when I first played the demo, and I would implore you to play the demo if anything. But when I first played the demo, I was like, why is this game so good? Like, why is this game that extra good? And then I think, I don't know if it was you or Mark that pointed out, Matt, but it was just like, oh, this is like 60. Like, and I was like, that's what it is. Because it just flows a certain way and it feels right.
Call of Duty ruined it for me because Call of Duty's always ran at 60 frames.
Right.
And that was
you just get trained to seeing it.
Yeah. Dirtbag. Play Call of Duty all the time.
But this, so to explain the story, me explaining it would not do it justice. I really like aliens landed on the moon and then humans went to the moon. I don't remember.
And then sci-fi is fuck from there.
But here, like the big thing is you're playing through as 2B and you're kind of working your way through the world to try and figure out what's going on Earth. You're just kind of, the people you work for are sending you to Earth to collect resources and find intel and things like that. But the deeper in you go to the game, the more like, I'll give you an example, right? So you start off the game and there's just these stupid little machines that look like trash can people. And they don't really say anything or do anything. They come up to you and they just start attacking you mindlessly, so you attack back. And the further you play into it, the more like there's one point in the game where you kind of drop down into this area and they come at you, and as you fight them, they start saying "ow," and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then you're playing through as 2B, and you're with 9S, and 9S goes, "Oh, it's okay, 2B. They're just machines. They're just spitting out random things. They don't actually feel pain." And as he's saying that, they're all going, "Ow, this hurts. Please stop." And you're still killing all of them. And you're like, "Am I hurting? What's happening?" Like, And it just keeps fucking with your head like that all the way throughout the game, where more and more of that starts happening. And then, again, you're playing through as androids. There's still some sort of remnants of humanity living somewhere on the moon, but you're not quite sure of it. And you're slowly unraveling more of the story as you go along, but it deals with a lot of those themes of, like, our dependence on technology and how, like, what does that mean? Like, where does technology stop and humanity begin, and the other way around? It's really interesting, and I finally beat it once. Well, actually, I've beat it 3 times now, technically. But you beat it as 2B. You go through story beginning to end. And you could walk away right there and be like, great, I beat NieR. Fantastic. But the credits roll, and it pops up and says, hey, thank you for playing. We really recommend to play this game more than once to get the full experience. Thanks, Square Enix, whatever. And I was going to do that anyway because I had heard that's kind of what you're supposed to do. But I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So it starts off, and immediately when it starts, different beginning. And you're like, okay, this is interesting. So you play through it a little bit. And then you jump in and you're playing as NieS, the male character. And you're seeing things from his perspective in the opening events. And you're like, oh, shit. Okay, cool. I'm doing things a little bit differently now. This is cool. And then you get to the opening area, and it's like, okay, you have to go do this. And again, like, you're just seeing it from his perspective, and you're like, you've imagined what his story was like, but now you get to play it. And this is where I got my second ending, because I walked up, and I made a left, and I started walking off somewhere, and then it just popped up, and it said, that day, NieS decided he wanted to study robot life, so he ran off to never be seen again. And then the credits fly by really quickly, and then it just goes to the title screen.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay. And it said I unlocked ending G or something like that, or K. I forget which one it was. I was like, okay, great. And I talked to Dash about it, our friend Dash, and he's been on the podcast before. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I didn't get that because it was telling you to turn around if you listen to the operator telling you. And I was like, oh, well, second playthrough, I put the voices in Japanese just to do that. So they're saying it, and I had no idea what the fuck they were saying because it didn't cue that in the subtitles. So I just did that. And then there's another one later on. There was a side quest by Jackass, who is a non-playable character in the game, and she sells you things. And she calls you or sends you a letter and says, like, hey, I have a fish. I'd like you to come try this fish to tell me if it's, worthwhile for androids to eat fish. If you die, sorry, but, whatever. So I went to her and I was like, okay, cool. And at this point, like, I had made some significant progress in my second playthrough. And I was like, all right, let me eat this fish. And then as I'm eating the fish from her, it's just like, NieS started to feel bad. And I'm like, oh, shit. Do I have to do everything I just fucking did again? And then it was like, after this, everything on the inside of him turned to nothing. And he fell to dust. And he died. It was just like credits. And it did the same thing back to... And I was like, oh, shit. But luckily, it just adds another letter to your save file. It's just like, cool, you achieved ending G or whatever, K. And then you dive back in right where you left off. So there's all these weird little... There's 26 different endings in the game. One for every letter of the alphabet. Yeah. A lot of them are just silly, goofy ones like that make you laugh or chuckle, or it's just like, oh, ha, ha.
I like the fast credits. Like, that's just...
it's so good, yeah. But then there's 5 true endings. And already I'm about... I would say 60 to 70% done with NieS's playthrough. And I've already uncovered so many different details about the story that I did not get the first time around playing as 2B. And then after you beat it as NieS, there's a third playable character. You play through as her, and then there's still 2 more endings after that. So
that's cool.
Plus the other 25, 6, something, 21.
7 million.
Yeah, it's just really good. I would say... play the demo, and I recommended this before on the show. The demo does a really great job at showing you the versatility of gameplay. However, the one thing that kind of took me aback when I first started the game, like proper, outside of the demo, because the demo is very action heavy. It's platinum, so I think they put their best work forward. And the demo lets you play through third-person action game, 2D side-scrolling shooter, and top-down shooter, kind of all in one demo. And you're like, this is so cool, the way they do this, the way they play with camera angles to change up the way gameplay feels.
Yeah.
And then you get into the game. The game is an RPG, so that threw me off at first because I was expecting more of an action thing. This is like where the demo is like 90% action, 10% RPG.
Yeah.
The game is like 70% RPG and 30% action.
Yeah.
You're playing through, and by all means, you're playing an RPG. There's quests, there's side quests, there's all of that. But along the way, you're doing some cool ass action. I love this game. Like, this is the only thing that's getting close to Breath of the Wild in my mind this year. But it, like, once you get it, and like it's the Bloodborne thing, right? Like, we all play Bloodborne, right? Like, you start Bloodborne and you're playing through and you're like, this is cool. It's weird. I get it. People like this game, I guess. And then all of a sudden Bloodborne just clicks for you and you're like, oh shit, that's why this game's so good. And like, there's something about this. It's just that it factor that you're just like, maybe it's just the 60 frames a second.
That sounds awesome. Is it long? Is it a long game?
I think my first playthrough took me about 10 hours.
Not too bad.
Of wandering and exploring and doing it again. Like, that was another thing. I'm playing it without a guide, without anything. I'm not looking anything up. About 10 hours just fucking around. But you can drop difficulty. I haven't done it yet, but if you find it to be kind of you can drop or lower or raise difficulty at any moment in time. Doesn't affect anything. Now that I've played through as 9S and I'm again like probably got a little bit more to go. I think I've only added like 3 hours to my play count. So because I kind of know what to do next, obviously it's totally different. And he has different elements to his gameplay that are really cool and like surprise you at first. But because I kind of know the story and I know where to take him, it's easier to get through.
Interesting.
Yeah. The one thing that absolutely like floors me that I don't think any game has done this in a really long time so well or ever. And you could argue the music in this game is just so special. Every area has its own theme to it. But the way they recorded the music is they recorded it in levels. So you have a fully instrumental version of whatever theme song thing. You're playing through and you hear it, but when you go to a specific spot and there's like something else happening, it adds in a vocal track, which adds in this depth to something. So like there's the desert area, and as you play through, you're kind of wandering. It's very desolate. So the music's there, and you can hear the theme coming through, but it's like kind of quiet and there. As you get closer to enemies and you start getting into combat, the vocals come in, and the desert theme specifically sounds like that really, really haunting Bjork stuff, where it's just like she's belting, and you're like, it's scary and it's whatever. When you're playing through his 9S, he's got instead of having a heavy attack, he just hacks. So he can hack into an enemy, and when you do that, it goes into a little like arcadey style mini game. But it seamlessly transitions the music from the live instrumental stuff into 8-bit versions of it.
That's cool.
And they're all like so well crafted, like chip tunes, and they flow so well. And then you finish the hacking mini game, and you jump back to the 3D action. It just falls right back into the orchestral stuff, but so seamlessly and flawlessly.
That's awesome. Music can make a game for me,
and that's
very much
that's what started to like turn this game for me, because it was great and I loved it and I beat it, but really until I started playing through as 9S and having that weave of falling into the hacking games and falling back and hearing how the music changes, like that's where I'm starting to like it kicked it up a couple things for me.
You're about to do an Emerald. It up a couple notches.
I was gonna say notches, and then I was like, notches is a dumb word. I forgot about Emerald, but
well, now
bam,
you know.
Bam, bam, bam. Speaking of bam,
sounds awesome though. You have convinced me to check that out.
I encourage you. It's very fun. At the very least, you get to fly a Gundam around a couple of times. So you know,
never bad.
Never ever ever bad. Speaking of never ever ever bad, breaks are never ever bad. So we're gonna take a break. When we come back, a little bit of show and tell. Talk about something old going away and something old that's maybe new, possibly. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. Be right back. All right, baby boys, time for a little bit of show and tell. We didn't talk about this last week, Matt. The Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Gone. Not till November. Till forever.
Yeah.
Just gone. Nintendo canceled, discontinued this thing.
Which seems...
You're talking about the Classic.
The NES Classic.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. They sold so many.
Yeah, like...
Did they?
It's such a weird thing. The NES Classic...
Was the tagline for this one last ride?
I think it was.
See, but I don't understand the logic of that too, because if you constrain the supply of something, right, it means the demands are going to increase.
Right.
So people are going to be selling them for a lot of money, but scalpers are going to be selling them for a lot of money. It's not like Nintendo's going to see any of that money, and it's not like they're selling games for it because the games that are on it are on it. So it's not like they're boosting the sales of games.
Yeah, I don't
dumbing
know.
down the supply.
What an interesting little case study this guy is. Like, what the fuck happened? What was Nintendo thinking?
I don't know. I
Weird.
mean, they said that they never intended it to be,
But why not? It made so much sense. It was, what, $60?
$60. Yeah, I mean, again, like when this thing was announced last summer, this was immediately the thing where you're like, oh, it's like those dumb Sega things they have at Walgreens. Except Nintendo's actually making it, right? Which immediately tells you, like, yeah, of course this makes sense. Like, put it in every goddamn grocery store. Like, people will buy it. And Nintendo's very conservative with their...
Maybe it was a point where they didn't want it, where they didn't want to let it get to that point, where they didn't want it to be ubiquitous and that, like, you could find it in, like, Walgreens.
It cheapens the brand, and I get that part, but at the same time, having this thing, like, readily available, I think is just free money.
Yeah.
But they're very conservative with their business model, and to them having, like, stock just sitting out somewhere is, a waste of money, obviously. So, yeah, it's...
If I would have saw one, I would pick one up. Like,
Me too. Like, every time I go into Target, every time I go into anywhere that would sell it, like, I will glance in the spot where they would have it held.
Like, I doubt I would ever complete anything, but I would love to fuck around with the original Zelda. Like, I've never really played the original Zelda.
Yeah, I mean,
like Mario 3, like, I played it, obviously, but, like, I've never played it.
And I love it, and, like, I have those things on Virtual Console, but something about that little machine, because we played it, Mark got his hands on one finally. Mm-hmm. Actually, he had an inside source. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten one either. But he got his hands on one, and we got to play it around Christmas. And it's like, it's a cool little thing. Like, the emulation's really great. It's the best emulation they've done on anything. I don't know. The menu is really well designed. The whole, like, user interface is really nice and clean. And
they did some clever things with save states and things like that.
It
was
well executed. It's a nice little package, and it's such a shame that it was just
all the different aspect ratios you can play.
Yeah, like there's a lot of.
How does it feel though? Like the hardware, how do the controllers feel? How does
like an NES controller, and it's exactly.
It was short. That was the only gripe, but other than that,
yeah. But the thing itself, the thing itself is tiny, but still, like, clicking the buttons feels like you're clicking an NES button.
Yeah,
it was good. It's a nice little thing, but it's such a shame. I don't know. And now I'm, like, conflicted because so what they said is that throughout April, on Nintendo of America territories, we'll receive the last shipments of Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition systems for this year. We encourage anyone interested in obtaining this system to check with retail outlets regarding availability. We understand that it has been difficult for many consumers to find a system, and for that we apologize. We've paid close attention to consumer feedback, and we greatly appreciate the incredible level of consumer interest and support for this product. I don't know. I don't know. I think I know that previously they stated, like, we anticipated X amount of people would want this, and a lot more wanted it than we thought. Their original idea, I think, was that the people who are maybe our age or just north of that, who are now having kids, would go, oh, I had one of those when I was a kid. I want to play these with my kids.
Exactly.
They didn't anticipate that we would also want them, and that those a few years younger than us would want them.
Yeah.
And a few years younger than that would want... Like, it hit a lot more markets than I think they anticipated, so the supply was just so short.
Yeah, but I thought it would, like, double down on making more supply, especially in the holiday. Like, that's the confusing thing. If you can't meet the expectation at first because you didn't expect these markets, but double down on the supply part of it, get it out there.
I was in New York around Christmas time and we went to the Nintendo store and they didn't have any there either.
Yeah, they were actually like tweeting and Instagram every day. They were just like, hey, if you get here and get in line, the first 25, we'll give you wristbands so you can get your NES Classic. Yeah. And they were doing that like daily around Christmas. Yeah. And then they would say, sorry, all the things have been handed out for today. Try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they made it very, very strict to get it there as well. But yeah, I don't know if like there was a lot of speculation that the Switch production got in the way of this production. So obviously they wanted to prioritize their new console over, this reissue of an old thing.
I don't feel like that would be too much of an issue because it was pretty much like a system on a chip anyway, right? Like that's
people have ripped it open and imagine a Raspberry Pi. Not literally that, but like it's just that's it. It's that little bit of output to a TV and power input and like that's
that can't have been that hard to produce and manufacture.
No,
and the chip itself, it didn't take much power to power. We powered it through a PlayStation when we had it up and running.
Oh, that's right.
Did you really? Through the USB?
Yeah,
USB on the PlayStation.
Because we
couldn't find an outlet.
Yeah, we didn't have a spare outlet because I moved everything, right?
Yeah.
Or did I?
We were upstairs. Why?
Right, it was before I moved everything down here. But yeah, we didn't have an outlet because I had my fucking Christmas tree plugged in. It was too much of a pain in the ass to try and run extension. It was like, we'll just plug it into the fucking PS4.
We're like, will this work? Oh, it works. All right.
It totally
cool.
Worked. Yeah.
NES Classic powered by Sony.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. But weirder than that is the rumor that surfaced this week. Because that wasn't rumor. That was fact. Nintendo said, nah, we're done. Thanks, guys. But now rumor that the SNES is going to get the same treatment later this year.
Do you think they're going to do it? Do you one, do you think they're going to do it? And two, if they do it, do you think that they'll do what they did with the NES Classic where they had the NES Classic and Famicom Classic? So that they'll do the Super Famicom and Super NES classics.
Who didn't see this coming, if it is the thing?
I mean, I saw this coming, but I saw this coming as like, right, I can now it's April. I can easily go to my local Target and buy the NES Classic from last year. Boy, I can't wait till they do an SNES Classic. And then to be able to have both of them side by side. But now it's like, it just seems weird. Like
the timing seems weird.
Like a year apart.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to put the NES back. It makes sense, but it also is just like, well, wait, mishandled's not the right word, because maybe they handled it exactly how they expected it to handle, or expected to handle it, but in the eyes of like someone like me, very large promoter of Nintendo and fan of Nintendo, staring at that gamepad, aren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, my earliest memories are playing Tetris on my Game Boy. You know what I mean? Like, forever, and I still don't have an NES Classic. Meanwhile, a lot of people made a lot of money flipping those things for
a lot of money. Yeah. Like Nintendo does things sometimes where they just miss the mark. Like look at like the Game Boy Color, for example.
I missed the mark.
Yeah, he's not here this week.
No,
but,
yeah, Game Boy Color.
Look at the Game Boy Color though. The Game Boy Color was really cool.
Yeah,
but it didn't have a backlit screen.
Right.
Tons of other like handheld consoles that were out, not tons, but at least like enough of handheld consoles that were out at the time that had a backlit screen. And like that just seems like such an obvious thing that like they should have known. Like they would have known their target audience by that time, and they would have known like.
Yeah, and they still did.
I was gonna say the next iteration
the GBA
still didn't have it.
Didn't have it. It wasn't until SP.
Yeah, the SP like not even 2.
Right,
but
it's weird.
I think it was battery life though. I didn't do that.
Yeah, sure.
But even like the, I don't buy that as a good enough excuse to not have a backlight.
But to play devil's advocate, I had a Nomad, and I remember the battery life of the Nomad. The screen was the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah.
And it took 17 D batteries, and they died in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
None of that is hyperbole nor exaggeration.
Nomad, no man, no play.
Nomad, no way. Yeah, look at the Game Gear though.
Right.
6 AA batteries, and you got like maybe an hour and a half.
I think it's about what the Nomad was in real math. equations.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where this rumor comes. Oh, I know it comes from Eurogamer, but Eurogamer, they were the ones who originally leaked all of the Switch stuff, so they're making claim that any SNES Classic Edition will be released in time for Christmas, and the development is underway.
You know what concerns me about all this stuff, though?
Yes.
Why I don't like the fact that we're talking about an SNES Classic when we still don't know what the Virtual Console is like for the Switch.
It's interesting.
That's what I don't like.
I haven't
about
paid
this.
attention to that yet, but is it still the case where like if you buy
That
something,
thing's a fucking beta. I don't know where. Oh, it's behind the TV over there. The software is in a beta. It's fine. Whatever. I knew what I was getting myself into.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
all right.
But to answer that question about like, did the stuff you buy not transfer or that?
Yeah,
we have no idea yet.
Okay.
Like I said, we're in a beta.
Yeah, they haven't said anything. They haven't issued any details.
Yep. If my one game doesn't transfer, I'm gonna be pissed. One game.
I'm not getting back into this, but again, I don't care if my shit transfers or not. I don't care
This guy wants to spend all his money on buying the same shit for the fourth time.
It would be great if everything worked the way that it should, but they've not done that, so they've really lowered my expectations.
Now, one Castlevania game that doesn't transfer me pissed.
$8. I'm gonna pay your $8. I'll buy it for you again. Again, like, you've got to keep in mind that like licensing a lot of that shit costs money. So I'm not making excuses, but I understand like things happen. When those contracts were originally made, they weren't made to be carried across several generations. I think now is the time that you start doing that shit. You say, hey, you put your thing on our thing. It's got to be a thing that can be a thing for a very long time. Anyway, different thing entirely. SNES Classic, I think it's a weird thing considering how weird the SNES or the NES Classic was.
Do you think it's going to happen though?
I think
I think so.
I also think it's going to happen in that time frame.
Yes, I think it'll be out by Christmas. I think that maybe I think they learned. I don't know what that still means come later this year. But assuming we can get our hands on one, what would you guys want on it?
I know what I'd want, but that's boring.
No. Why is it boring?
Next.
Could you imagine if Super Mario World was not on it?
No, God no. So here,
just imagine that.
Stupid. That or Super Mario RPG.
You want to build our list? 30 games.
Oh, fucking... All right,
So,
I've already got... you.
Jurassic Park.
Matt, not the free cheese SNES Classic. The SNES Classic.
Paperboy 2. Paperboy.
Super Mario World is an obvious, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you put Yoshi's Island on it too, right?
Yeah, you've got to. Yeah.
So that's game 2.
All them Final Fantasies.
All of them?
Oh, yeah.
Because this
6.
whole thing could just be a Square Enix RPG machine.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger.
Right.
100% Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, so Chrono.
Oh my god, this is my opportunity to play Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
This is it. I found it. I've been looking for an opportunity to play this.
FF2 and 3.
Yeah.
Was 6?
3
Well,
6.
yeah.
Oh,
stupid
that's right.
reasons.
That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
You said Super Mario RPG?
Didn't do that, but yeah, Super Mario RPG. We've missed a couple.
Oh, you gotta put Mario Kart.
Yep, Mario Kart. Is it Super Mario Kart?
Super Mario Kart, yep.
Star Fox.
Yeah, Star Fox. The interesting thing there is that Star Fox and Yoshi's Island are the two that have yet to appear on Virtual Console.
Oh, really?
Right, because they use the
chip, the extra chip, yeah.
FX chip.
That's
And I don't know if it's a licensing thing. I don't know if they've been unable to emulate it, which I find odd because other people have emulated it. So
you
why
can
can't
emulate it on emulator, right?
you can? It's not perfect, and I
Yeah.
think that's the thing. It's like until they perfect it, I don't know if they want to do it, but
Yeah.
like this is the time to get it and get it right. So
Yeah.
we missed 3 of the greatest games because Super Mario World, boom, right? Obviously. Super Metroid.
Castlevania.
Before we even get to Castlevania,
Yeah.
Super Metroid.
Yeah.
A Link to the
Zelda.
Past. Yeah, gotta have A Link to the Past. And Earthbound.
I was gonna say you're gonna say Earthbound.
You have to, like, obviously.
I always forget about Earthbound.
I mean, how dare you?
It's just I never grew up with it as a kid.
Neither did I. I played it as a 26-year-old man or something. I don't remember how old I was. How old am I now? Be 28?
14?
Yeah, I was 25. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's how old I am right now.
Your life could change forever.
Yeah, I played Chrono Trigger first though.
All right.
They'll
What
never
else we
put it
got?
on there, but Mortal Kombat.
Old sweat.
Nah.
Watch out it. What else? What else was
I'm trying to think.
Did we hit all the first party stuff that's important?
Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah,
Country.
Donkey Kong Country. Like 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Fuck 3.
Yeah.
Right? So how many do we got so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 13. Holy shit, we have 17 to go.
Let's cut it at 20.
I
I said we'd cut it at 15.
I mean, you would go through the Square Enix catalog. I'm sure there's other third-party companies that.
Like Capcom, what were they up to?
Oh, fuck! Batman Forever.
Matt! Fill the rest of the list out with Batman.
Oh shit! What the hell? I can't remember what it's called. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Contra 3. The
Oh,
Alien
good one.
Wars.
Yeah.
I guess you do Dracula X.
Yeah.
And Super Castlevania 4. What else?
Dragon Quest. Any of the Dragon Quests?
Yeah, I forget which ones were on SNES, but yeah.
You're looking at a list.
Yeah, I'm looking up a list.
He was like a good, like, I'm trying to think of like another.
F-Zero?
Oh,
F-Zero's a good one.
shit, yeah.
Pilot Wings. I know that's not like the most
I
whatever.
never played that.
But Pilot Wings is a launch title,
Mario
so
Paint.
I think it's Mario
one?
Paint. Yeah,
Mario,
Ooh,
go throw a little Mario Paint in there.
good call.
I don't know how you'd play that.
I don't know either.
No, just make the music. That's all. I don't know how many we're up to now. Well, that was 13, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
All of mine are RPGs. Now I'm thinking Harvest Moon. Too many RPGs.
Fuck it, Harvest. That's a pretty decent list.
I mean, that's just like off the top of our head. We're not really digging in.
Yeah, we're not looking at any of the things or.
I'm trying to
I
think
like
of
it. I
another
could be
big-
excited by an SNES Classic. And that's me being somebody who never owned an SNES.
As someone to own an SNES, I want this.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the demographic that's interested in it too. Like, there's lots of people who are our age, or like maybe a little bit younger, or a little bit older, like around our age, who never owned an NES, and always wanted one, or had friends who had them, and that was their chance. Like, an NES Classic was their chance to own an NES.
Like,
yeah, and
like,
$60 for 30 games is not bad.
Not bad at all.
Considering what Nintendo charges for
and
a
if
virtual
you
console.
bring that catalog right there, or just a portion of that, like,
Yeah.
I know, like, yes, I own an SNES, but like finding cartridges for that stuff, like, I'm never.
Dude, an Earthbound cart raw on a good day still costs you $80.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's yellowed, smells like cigarettes, the sticker's half peeled off, $80. Like, that's not even. You want to buy that game complete in box, you're looking at least $500.
Yeah.
Maybe not at least. You probably get away with like 3 or 4. But that's still, man, $300 or $400 22 years later. It's crazy. Nuts. But even right there, like Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Link to the Past, Earthbound, not only 4 of the best Nintendo games, not only 4 of the best Super Nintendo games, 4 of the best games, period, of all time.
There were some really good games on Super Nintendo, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And they hold really well, too. Like, you know, the NES stuff, I love 8-bit.
It feels dated at this point. Like, there's only so much you can do.
A lot of it, but like, what was great about the 16-bit era is that a lot of it ended up sort of like doing what the 8-bit era couldn't do.
Yeah.
So it made, like, if you look at Metroid to Super Metroid acts in both ways, sequel and remake to the original.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the same ideas, just redone with a newer, you know, coat of paint, different sound, different whatever, but also it's a sequel story-wise, and it carries it into new places that the original couldn't.
Oh, there was Mega Man games that we missed, right?
Yeah, we didn't hit any of the X games.
I'm like looking at your collection up there for inspiration. No, Sonic wasn't a thing yet on Nintendo.
Nope, not yet.
I just saw something else too before I saw Mega Man. Oh, Punch Out. Wasn't there a Super
Oh my
Punch
god,
Out?
yeah, there was a Super Punch Out. Yep, and jot that old boy down. Yeah, Mega Man X. That seems like a safe bet.
Yeah.
Super Punch Out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Especially, I think what's really exciting about this, assuming of course we can get it, is the fact that I've been having this little SNES renaissance on my 3DS, and just kind of like being nostalgic for things that I never actually had. Like, it's one thing you had it, like going back to it, but like I've had this weird thing where I'm like calling back all these memories that I didn't actually have.
I tend to do that too for like, especially for like Super Nintendo, where I'll go back and I'll be like, oh, I remember this from like when I was little. I don't remember having it because I never had it. I was,
Right,
I was like at my friend's house and played it, and somehow it worked itself into a memory of me having this game.
Yeah, even like playing through Super Mario World now, I remember my friend having it and like playing it, and like as I'm playing it, I'm like feeling the controller in my hand, hitting those little Smarties buttons, the little purple buttons. But yeah, it's a cool thing. Also, that's what sucks, because having not grown up with it, I really want a Famicom controller rather than the SNES controller.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd probably prefer the
I'm
SNES.
so used to the SNES controller. So.
But
The Super Famicom controller just looks so much better.
Colored buttons,
Yeah.
so good. But yeah,
That actually, the console, the Super Famicom console looks so much better than the Super Nintendo one.
It's just all gray and with tints of purple.
Yeah. Do
Right,
you know why
right.
they did that, by the way? I feel like that's probably a well-known story.
do you know?
You guys?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, please share.
I feel like you're gonna tell it better than I will.
No,
though.
no, go.
So when they made the NES in the US, they had kind of like the vent grills kind of on the sides and well, yeah, on the sides. And people would put like drinks and stuff on them because the top of the NES is flat. So that's like the perfect place for you to put like a drink or something like that. Not the perfect place, but people would do it, and then they'd spill it, and then it would go through the grills and get on the circuit board and on the internals, and then people would send them back to Nintendo, and Nintendo would notice that a lot of people were doing this. So when they were designing the Super Nintendo, they wanted to design it without a flat surface on the top so it wouldn't entice people to put things on the top. So they wanted to make it with rounded and contoured edges, but they wanted it to still look like something that was toy-like and accessible to kids. This is as I remember the story. It's probably completely wrong. But yeah, that's why the top of the Super Nintendo is it's got those kind of like bump outs on it. So there's no place on it where you can put something like a drink. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that
Yeah. And then the other piece too is, the Famicom in '83 debuted in Japan, and it was a top-loading machine.
Yeah.
And Famicom is short for Family Computer, so it was marketed, and it came with like a keyboard and all the shit. And it was originally designed to be the family computer. Not only would you play games on it, but you would also do your fucking taxes on it or whatever the hell you would do on a computer in 1983. And recently, the Video Game History Foundation, gamehistory.org, they did that big piece on the launch of the NES, which is really cool. They dug up all these original like launch materials and ads and things. And they have in there the original AVS, which was the first attempt to bring the Famicom to the US. I think it was like CES 84.
Yeah.
And what they did there.
It was a testy time for video
Totally.
games in the US because it was just after the video game crash of America.
Yeah.
So nobody wanted to buy video game consoles.
Not at all. And the way they were going to do it was they were going to backdoor it as some type of VCR because VCRs were just coming in. So that's why the NES and originally the AVS had a front loader system. Now later iterations of the NES would have the top load, but the front load was all
in the front. Yeah, it was a couple of reasons, and that's why if you look at the footprint of a Famicom and you look at the footprint of not really the footprint, but the physical size of it, the Famicom's tiny compared to the NES.
Yeah, the NES is huge.
So they wanted when
the
they brought
carts
it
too.
Yeah. When they brought it to the US, they wanted to make it, they called it the Nintendo Entertainment System because they wanted to stray away from calling it a video game console because of the video game crash. They made it front loading because they wanted it to look more like a VCR and like something that you could put in your entertainment console with your VCR.
Yeah.
and they made it like they wanted it to be big because they didn't want it to look like smaller like video game consoles. They wanted it to look like something substantial that you were getting a lot for your money for.
It's so cool. Just a weird little thing.
You know, the first time I saw a front-loading NES, it took me like 10 minutes to figure out how to load the game.
Yeah.
Because first video game console, Super Nintendo, so used to that, boop, slide it on.
Yeah.
I saw that an NES for the first time. I was a small asshole at this point, but I was like looking at it. I was like, where the fuck do I put the game?
Yeah.
Those hinges would get not sticky, but like they'd get creaky after a while too. So you'd pull up the little door and it would just go.
But that was the other thing. I found the front compartment and I was like, all right, slide it in, close it. Why isn't it launching?
You didn't push it down.
I didn't get the whole. You have to push it down. I did not know.
That's actually a really cool mechanism. We're totally like straying into like history.
Doesn't matter.
Thing,
this is rad.
That's actually a really cool mechanism. I looked at a teardown of an NES a little while ago, and they were talking about the way that the front loading mechanism is constructed, so that it doesn't make contact until you press it down. I think that was supposed to be an attempt to like so that dust wouldn't get into it as easily, so the pins would be kind of lowered rather than like not indirect. Like in the direct path of where dust could go.
Huh.
It was really cool.
It was clever. Back when they had to think about those things. I'm sure what they have to think about now is way more complicated, but also simple at the same time.
Or you just launch a beta now.
Real upset about that, aren't you?
I'm really pissed about the AirPod thing. That still bothers me.
Yeah, I know. One day. It'll happen.
The AirPods work on my Vita. I'm just throwing that out there.
They're going to patch it in.
That's my thing. They work on Vita. If it didn't work on Vita, I'd be fine with it, but they work on my Vita.
You'll be able to use them one day. That was all I really had for show and tell. A couple other weird little stupid things this week. Konami's actually still making...
Fuck them.
Pachinko machines?
They are making more pachinko machines.
Probably Metal Gear Solid ones too. Fuck
but
them.
No, Super Bomberman R is adding Gradius, Silent Hill, and Castlevania costumes.
Cool.
Whatever.
In a future update, which is really weird.
I'm glad to support the one game that they actually care about. Whatever happened to that Metal Gear Solid game? That just fell off the map. Does anyone know what happened?
Mm-mm.
Good.
Yeah, it's probably dead in the water.
Burns in hell.
I don't think that Kojima would even close to touch it, and I don't think they could make Metal Gear without him.
Well, no. They did that. Did you see the trailer for that Survive game they were trying to do last year?
No.
Oh. I'm not going to get into that because I got a lot of feelings.
Bag of shit.
I got a lot of feelings about that. And they made the story canon to 5.
You sound so like distressed about it.
Yeah, but yeah, that game was supposed to come out in March.
Yeah.
We're in April, and I haven't heard a thing since like last year about it. So I hope that's in a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Or buried where all the Atari ETs are.
Yeah. Oof.
Fuck them.
What else news-wise? Has anything else been cropping up?
I mean,
there was some Scorpio stuff, but like I don't even know like how to react to it because I don't know like what 8 teraflops means.
I don't want to go too deep into it. I think we had a good conversation there. I think we can kind of leave it at that. But you and I had a great conversation about the Scorpio stuff the other day.
Yeah.
We were getting coffee, and it was just like, it's cool, but why wouldn't I just build a PC? Or to your point, like, why would I build a PC when I could spend roughly around the same money or less, have a genuine console experience, and have something a little powerful, a little more customizable?
I'll repeat what I was telling you. I was someone that was really stoked on the idea of a Steam box. I was like, oh my god, like it's as someone that doesn't want to spend $1,000 on the computer or worry about all the bullshit of building it, like it's already built and it's in a nice like maybe $500 package. It's a PC that runs like a Steam library, mouse, keyboard, or I can get that Steam controller for whatever reason. And then when it came out and it was what it is, the confusing thing that it is.
Right, because it's 17 different models.
As someone who knows the industry, I am still confused by what the fuck happened with that thing.
Yeah.
And like if Xbox can do that, like make a PC that is a console, but just not do it. Like make a Steam box the Microsoft way and market it the right way. 1 SKU, maybe 2 SKUs. I don't know how you want to do it that way, but
Yeah.
They had my attention for the first time in a long while.
I mean, the one cool thing about it is, like, when I started piecing out and pricing PC stuff and getting ready for it, the idea of having a giant-ass tower again, and, like, I could not find a case that would house the things I wanted that didn't look that way. And, like, it's just not as sexy as...
You gotta put the street glow in it. That's what mine would have.
Well, yeah, obviously, but...
Mine would change colors too. Oh god, it'd be so cool.
No, but I mean the just the sheer size of it. Like, the thing would stick up half the fucking floor. A console is a box. It's a small box you could usually fit into a backpack. You don't fit in a PC tower in a backpack. Unless you have a big fucking weird backpack.
You can fit an Xbox in the backpack. Can't fit that power brick though.
No, that you rent a U-Haul for.
Yeah.
Mine has changed the colors, by the way.
Wheelbarrow.
Yeah. Barrel it around.
And throw it into the dumpster fire.
I think E3 will be very fun. I'm really looking forward to E3. I just this afternoon, before we were recording, was watching old E3 press conferences.
Yeah, you were texting me. Like, want me to pause? I'm like, nah, I don't care about 2011 Nintendo E3.
That was the joke. That's why I asked you if you want me to pause it.
What was even in that E3?
That was the Wii U debut.
Oh, yeah, no.
Because what I've been doing, I've been listening to old podcasts from before the Wii U was announced, when it was Project Cafe and, like, all hope was alive. And then, because really, like, man, Project Cafe, the whole idea of it, like, holy shit, like a screen and the controller. Everyone's going to have their own controller that does this thing, and it's so unique. And now it's just like, it's the Wii U. I love the Wii U, but... It was such a weird, like, people walking out of that conference, like, is it a console or is it a controller?
Yeah, that was the thing. They debuted it. It was just a tablet.
Too. Where everybody was like, is it? I don't know what it is.
There was the intro video where they were showing the tablet, and there was one, like, quick screen of a console, but it looked similar to the Wii.
Similar enough to the Wii, yeah.
Where we didn't know if it was just a tablet.
It's very weird.
And, yeah, it's something.
It's very weird.
That only took them 6 years to come out with, like, something that actually does it.
Yeah, I know. Finally, right? Yeah.
I'm happy with the hardware of the Switch. I'm, like, stoked on that.
Yeah, just needs a little bump in the operating system. E3's gonna be fucking dope, man.
You know, I keep saying it's in a beta, but every time I go to launch Zelda, I refuse to update the console.
It's okay. It's just stability update, so it's not like you're gonna get.
Can you see page 2 of the store yet?
No. You don't need to.
It's so bad.
There's no way it can be as bad as the PlayStation Store on the PS3.
The initial one?
Yeah. That was
the browser.
hole and a half.
It's not.
I was not around. I was not around for the browser.
I remember the browser
one was interesting.
Yeah.
I was not around for the browser. I started messing around with the store when it was like the classic layout, and then when they changed it and ran slow as shit, I hated life.
Yeah.
But it was
fine
all,
now.
Yeah. Not on PS3.
Oh no.
Yeah. No.
Well, fuck that console.
Yeah. But I fired it up recently to see what the store looks like. It's like, whoa, it's a shit show.
Thanks.
Super shit show. I think it's going to do it for the Free Cheese episode 194. Thank you so much for hanging out, Sandeep.
Yeah.
You need to come on more of these.
I want to.
Sandeep, you've been, we're not going to talk about it just yet, but in a week we will reveal. But Sandeep, you've been helping out a lot with the upcoming cover story for the month of May. So we won't say much, but just look forward to that.
I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I'm really stoked. We'll give you all the details next week's episode. Actually, I think next week's episode debuts like the day that'll go live, so that'll be pretty good. But to bring us to a close, like we do with every show, send us an email, podcast@thefreecheese.com. You can send us some feedback, ask a question.
Send us your full body pics.
You could, send them. But you can get your message right on the air, just like...
Pause.
Health and Body did. Health and Body emailed podcast@thefreecheese.com and said this: scientific breakthrough. Doctors are stunned by this ingredient that's causing instant reduction in fine lines, wrinkles, and bags. After many years of not taking proper care of her skin, Mary Ellen's age was starting to show, But this new scientific breakthrough is reversing 20 years of aging on her face and restoring her confidence. Greetings, podcast at thefreecheese.com. A infamous TV doctor has just revealed a revolutionary new skin cream that has the same effects as surgical procedures such as Botox or a facelift, but without the needles. He had kept this secret safely guarded for years, only releasing it to his celebrity clients, but is now releasing it to the general public after he was threatened by Dog the Bounty Hunter in an all-out war and a 2-man consecutive sack race. I'm just making up bullshit at that point.
Was Dog the Bounty Hunter actually in that, or was that a you?
I don't know.
You got me at that one.
Time will tell. But you could be one of the lucky ones who gets your email read on the podcast, just like healthandbodydoctor.com. Send us an actual email, because that shit. And it just keeps fucking going, man. I got a bunch of them this week. There's one about TikTok TV or some shit.
Can you get free via Jera?
No, but I got one from Walgreens Points and another from CVS Bonus.
Ooh.
Both about telling me to claim and redeem my rewards points before they expire. I think that was all of them.
Quick tangent. The word redeem is a weird word because you're doing something again, but the thing that you're doing again is deem.
That's true. Oh! To answer your question.
Yeah.
One more email sent to us. The boost that you've been waiting for. Hello, podcast at thefreecheese.com. Are you looking to increase both size and strength? Then this super combo is exactly what you need. This innovative and powerful combo can not only help to boost these, but all to increase T levels like never before.
Whoa.
You're going to be more than pleasantly surprised at these results. And, just saying, they included a picture of a guy in bed with three women.
Wow.
So I think
what am I doing wrong?
You're not.
I'm not on that.
Yeah.
the prosexual nutrient matrix in Xanogen helps boost the three S's of sex: size, stamina, and satisfaction.
Wow.
That's why it's
Helping
three
you
ladies.
peak, perform, and pleasure your partner just like you did in your 20s.
Shit.
Size, stamina, and satisfaction.
Wonderful.
God damn it. You can follow us on Twitter. The Free Cheese is at Some Free Cheese. Matt is at MattyIce131. Sandeep is at Reggie the Porp.
Yep.
It's P-O-R-P. Mark is at Og_mental, and I'm at The Free Cheese. Go to thefreecheese.com. Check out our cover story this month. Our cover story is Fools. We have a fantastic cover image drawn up by our very own Mark Augustiniak. Should have video of Boogerman and Earthworm Jim going up this week. A couple other things bring out to the close of April. And that's it. I think. Injustice is still rolling on. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty last week with our microphone where we recorded a lot and then went back and realized the microphone cut out after 6 minutes. Whoops. So yeah. We'll get back on track. Get us right up to Injustice 2. But I'm very excited about that. That's it. For more of us, freecheese.com, YouTube, internet, Twitters, whatevs. That's the stuff.
Good night.
But thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for hanging out with us for the last few hours. See you next week.
Go Caps.
Go Flyers.
They're out of it. Like, I don't care.
They might come back.
They're not.
They might.
They're gone to November.
But they
literally,
might.
like, literally, they're gone to November.
All right, whatever, I guess so. Size, stamina, screams.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.